So it's been ages. I have done the first video for OER, and I thought I should make another video because we are not making a lot of YouTube videos and we are not interacting with students. And most of the time, when we have a meeting, not many people are there. So that's why I thought that it's nice to interact. And I think why not making videos? And I think we are all busy, so then I think it's very nice that if we have videos, then it's stored, people have time, we can talk and they can see and they can interact afterwards. And let's evolve again and again, and I like to evolve, and I think that's why this initiative should keep going, that we should make videos, and the creative minds or the students of OER should also make videos, and I really encourage all the members to make videos. So this video is all about where are we all standing and why are we, I mean, specifically this video is made for Sajid, to be honest. And Sajid has been asking certain questions, which made me feel that I should again tell him or people like him that what is the need of research, and why we do this, and why the whole world need researchers, why the intellectual minds are important. So there are many creative minds. I'm sure they have the similar questions, and I think Sajid represent most of them. So what the commonality of his questions are, most of the time I see that he asks that what is the application of these, what is the need of these, what is going to, why they have done this research. So we have this student forum, right? The Creative Minds forum. Sometimes I switch between students and creative minds. They are all same to me. So I'm also a student, and everybody is a student throughout their life. And creative minds are more like an OER term. So that's why sometimes I call them creative minds and sometimes I call them students, because they are all same to me. Anyway, coming back to the point, that the creative minds most of the time asks that why we need to do this, and what is the reason behind this, why they have done this, and what is the application behind this. For example, the other day we were talking about fractal nature of cracks, or fractal nature of drying patterns, the biological patterns, the things like that. And he was asking this question that what is the application, why do we need to study this pattern, so why, and the why is not because why the pattern is present, rather than why we should study this. So see, I already gave you a hint that one way of looking at is that why those patterns are present. That itself probably answers the reason why we do research. So instead, why should we do this, so that the whole human society get benefits out of it? Most of the time, we when we are in our limited knowledge, or I would say limited at our early age, when we see that there are a lot of problems in the society, how we can solve this with science. Of course, that's one of the most important things to think about. But let's not forget that a lot of inventions happened just because we have given a thought uh, towards the why of uh, that being present. Maybe I think I am not able to phrase it properly, so let me rephrase it again. So For example, this fractal question was asked, and then I said that why this nature of fractal uh, structures are always present in different patterns, or for example, why there is a similarity, or why always this certain fractal constant is present, or why or another. And if it is very difficult to understand what is fractal, I'm not going to go in deep mathematical definition of it. We can do another session of that. But maybe another question is that when you pass electricity in a coil, a magnetic field gets generated. Why is that so? If Or another question, for example, why cell divides, for example, or another question, why catalysts are used uh, as to accelerate any reaction, and what is exactly their role. They don't get used up, but they accelerate the reactions. How does this happen? This kind of questions, or why chlorophyll is green. So you see, the questions I'm asking are um, very much unrelated to how the society is going to benefit out of it. So, so we scientists, or we researchers, are most of the time independent, unbiased. That means that most of the time, we are talking about being very neutral. That it may seem uh, unnecessary that let me I got a call. Okay, welcome back again. So what I was talking about is that why we do research, and what is the reason behind it. Uh, and this is also the same question which my mother will ask, and that why do I work so much? Why do I always work, and why do I always spend time with my research? It's very difficult to answer. It's kind of an interest which which does not allow you to sleep, because you're behind something which is which is which is not answered. So that is not an expectation from the society. That is not an expectation from your friends and family, that uh, because that doesn't exist yet. So we are looking for something which is not yet present. So for example, I mean, the one of the good examples in this case is that when we do research, what we do is that at the end, when we get the answer, it extends the boundary of human knowledge, and that can have certain implications towards the application. Maybe in 10 years, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 1 month, maybe in 100 years. So we cannot really focus on the application. Then the explorer nature of human beings are gone. So so this is very important to understand. Ideas can be created by anyone. So we think about many different things. We are idea generators, but somebody has to implement these ideas. Somebody has to execute these ideas. And when I say implement, that means when these ideas are so there are different kinds of ideas. First of all, the ideas related to fundamental questions, either ideas related to applied research, ideas related to engineering, ideas related to mm, related to the art. So there is also basic difference that what is art and what is science and what is engineering, what is mathematics. So these are all very, so if you try to understand these questions itself, you will be able to know that why art is art, and why science is uh, science, what is the difference between art and science. um, so so this is what I'm trying to, maybe I'm not sure whether I'm trying to make myself clear, because it is not so easy to answer this question. This is very difficult to answer these questions, but maybe it's the way, again, I'm giving, okay, let me give you another example of what Faraday was saying, to the minister, that same old story, is that what is the application. When the minister came to his lab, to Michael Faraday's lab, he asked him that what is the application of electromagnetism. When he showed this in amazing experiment at that point, when you're passing electric field, you have a magnetic field also present in the coil. And then the minister asked that what is the application of this, and then he said, I don't know. Maybe in 100 years there is some applications of it. And yeah, I mean, light bulb has come. The engines have come. There are different audio visual devices have come. So this have happened many years later, when electromagnetism, the research on electromagnetism is still ongoing, but Faraday did not know what is the application of electromagnetism. But unless we are selflessly interested in figuring out something very trivial or something very naive, uh, which may look very superficially look very trivial, um, but or a textbook question itself that can have very uh, self-satisfying um, answer when you try to solve it. So I already gave some examples, like the questions, what we uh, try to answer. For example, at the beginning, I gave some examples that those questions do not have any relations towards application of. I mean, the whole thing is we are trying to find out how nature is working, and and that is the scientific part of it, and there is a sociological part of it, the history part of it, is that what has happened and why it has happened and why the human being uh, at that point of time 2000 years ago was behaving like that. This is very historical question, which has also fundamental curiosity driven uh, questions that someone is really interested to know, and then that may have some applications afterwards, to some, I don't know, to the economics of that point of time, which we can inherit. So there are enormous amount of possibilities, and if we start thinking only about the applications, um, then we cannot spend time on the fundamental questions. Then, I mean, this is where probably the art and science somehow come close together, where the artist actually plays with the mud, with paints and canvases, um, and then they try to create something out of these arts. And human intellect is something like that. It has an enormous amount of possibility uh, to create something which has not thought about until now. Um so this is what I'm trying to say to Saji, or similar kind of people who are thinking that, okay, why do we do this, and should I, that also makes you slightly narrow-minded towards that, okay, we should go for this degree because this can give me uh, this much money, or this can generate a potential area of big industry. Um, so I know this kind of thinking, and we are always thinking about benefits. That's the sad part of human nature. It's not something we can avoid it. Humans are like that, and when we try to think about something, just a very simple question, try to answer that, and you'll see that, just don't solve that question just because it will be asked in your examinations. Just take a question, solve it, and just because you want to solve it, just because it is fascinating to you, that's all. That's all it takes, and that's all it matters. That uh, I am interested in that question, uh, just because there are some uh, questions, sub questions after questions after questions, which intrigues me. That's why I do that research. So there are a lot of these and that I'm saying, because I try to keep this conversation very general, although this has become slightly science oriented, but we have also people from other fields. Everything is related. This is also something we should again understand. This is another part of this video. I don't want to, I always try to say that uh, things are not unrelated. Physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics are all interlinked. Similarly, one cannot take away economics, or history, geography, language, literature, um, theater, art, cinema, everything. All are linked together because these are the things related to human beings. These are the things related to our world. When I say human beings, that also involves, to me, human being is a uh, very subjective um, uh, nomenclature, which can be. I also use it for other animals. I mean, I'm fundamentally I'm saying something wrong here probably, but when I'm saying human beings, that means our existence depends on many other creatures. Our existence depends on many other plants, many uh, other elements, and of this art, air, whatever you talk about. So all these things are related. So you cannot subdivide things very easily. This is a very difficult question I tried to answer in 20 minutes, and I do not want to go beyond that. And I would like everyone to participate, and then try to make 5 minutes or 10 minutes video like this, and take one questions, and then try to answer that, so that our creative minds are getting benefit out of this whole open academic research. Um, so this is probably the last video of from this apartment. We are leaving this apartment very soon, this week. So that is also something, that is also another reason why I wanted to make the last video from this apartment. because my wife, also the co-founder of OAR, Momita, is moving to Eindhoven. So that's a small thing I wanted to mention here, and finish the video with that note. Okay, so goodbye. Thank you. Take care. Enjoy your life. Bye.